Paris, Paris, Paris. I could never pronounce the R in the Paris properly. Paris. I'm trying to now. Ever since I started learning Hebrew, I can pronounce the R a little better. Paris. Donc, bonjour. Nous allons étudier la ville de Paris. Everybody who studies French should know a little bit about Paris. Donc, I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. I hope you enjoyed the video. D'accord? Paris. Découvre Paris. I've translated it, so I'm not going to explain it. It's very straightforward. It's a very straightforward passage. You should have no problem understanding it. D'accord? Now, the certain things like agglomeration, same word in English. Agglomeration is how a town becomes a huge extension because its suburbs keep becoming part of the main city. It becomes an agglomeration. It agglomerates. It becomes big. It's something like what is happening to Chennai now. Earlier you had Chennai. Ananagar was suburbs. Now people say Ananagar is the center of Chennai. You know, you have Greater Chennai. It keeps expanding. It's become an agglomeration. D'accord? Donc, découvre Paris. Paris est la capitale de la France et de la région Île-de-France. Paris est la seule ville de France à être aussi un département. L'agglomération parisienne est, avec celle de Moscou, Russie, et de Londres, Royaume-Uni, la plus peuplée d'Europe. It's the most one of the most populated cities in Europe. And it is one of the few cities which is a district by itself. Just like Chennai, we are a district by ourselves. Fiche d'identité, superficie, 105 km². France, 5,050,000 km². Population, 2,13 millions d'habitants, 9,5 millions dans l'agglomération. Nombre d'arrondissements, 20. So these are the details you need to know about Paris. Okay, about France in general and Paris in particular. France has 20 arrondissements. An arrondissement is a word for a district. And Paris is known as a district. Okay. This is the picture. I don't know if you remember, in the first semester I drew it. I told you Paris resembled an egg. So this is the egg, a very funny looking egg. And can you see the river Seine? It goes right through the center of Paris. This is the Seine. D'accord? Okay. On commence avec la Tour Eiffel. This is the Eiffel Tower. The top is missing. Sorry. La Tour Eiffel. It's no longer whatever you want to call it. Lorsque vous parlez en français, c'est la Tour Eiffel. La Tour Eiffel, c'est le symbole, le symbole de la capitale. C'est la tour en fer, haute de 324 mètres, a été construite par Gustave Eiffel pour l'exposition universelle de 1889. All right? So this is it. We're just looking at this part over here. It was built in 1889 for an exhibition to show the industrial progress of France. People hated it then. They said it was a monstrosity, but it is now the most loved monument of France. Now, the next thing we're going to look at is the river Seine. Now, I want you to look at the river Seine over here. This is part of the Seine. This blue line in the center. This blue line in the center is the part of the Seine. And in the beginning, can you see these two islands over here? You have, this is known as the Ile Saint-Louis, on which you have the Notre Dame Cathedral. And then you have the Ile de la Cité, where you have the Parliament. D'accord? And all around, France was born here. Therefore, all the main important palaces and official government buildings were built around the Seine. And nowadays you can take many ferries. This is a map I took off the internet for a private thing called Bateau Bus. They also have a bus, big bus. So you can, the red line is the bus's route and the blue line is the ferry route. So you can just go for a lazy ride on the boat around the Seine, listening to an audio about the various monuments. So they normally start here near the Eiffel Tower. They go round, but here I think you go around like this. Over here you have the Musée d'Orsay. It was once a metro station. Now it's a huge museum. Then you have Saint-Germain-des-Prés, which is another big thing. You go around, you have the Jardin des Plantes, which is the botanical garden. Hotel de Ville is where the mayor lives. So you can go around looking at all the major monuments of France, river's view from the river. If you go by the bus, you can have a roadside view. So this is the ferry. It's called a bateau mouche. Bateau mouche. You can either sit down inside if you don't want to be sunburned, or you can sit on the top and you have a better view and you can have a lovely ride watching and listening to the guides. So that is La Seine. And this is a glimpse of the Eiffel Tower from a bateau mouche. D'accord? This is a view, c'est une vue de la Seine. This is a view of the Seine from the top of the Eiffel Tower. You can see quite a huge portion of Paris. Maintenant, la Seine. La Seine. La Seine. Les plus beaux monuments de Paris se trouvent au bord de ce fleuve. Notre-Dame, le Louvre, la Tour Eiffel, le Grand Palais. Les touristes peuvent les découvrir à bord des bateaux mouches. Bateaux mouches are the ferry boats, the cruise boats that help you sightsee from the Seine. D'accord? Now the next thing we're going to look at is this huge avenue called the Champs-Élysées. It starts over here with the Arc de Triomphe. It was built by Napoleon. I think my history is bad. Somebody built it. Now, can you see this? This is the Place de l'Étoile. Place de l'Étoile. It means star. Étoile means star. So can you see all the avenues going out like a star? This is the center of the star. This is the center of the star. And I mean, it looks more like a sun, right? Than a star. Anyway, they call it the Place, the square, the star square. D'accord? And right in the center over here, you have the Arc de Triomphe. Right in the center, you have the Arc de Triomphe with the avenues going out from it. It's quite a beautiful sight from the top. Yeah? So the Champs-Élysées starts at the Arc from this Place de l'Étoile, from the Arc de Triomphe. So this is one part, one side of the Champs-Élysées. It's a huge avenue. Can you see? It starts here. You have shops here. It starts here and it goes here. You have a huge avenue, and you have on the other side also, you have the same road. Here at the back, can you see the Arc de Triomphe? Right? Now I want you to look at this also. We'll be looking at it shortly. D'accord? So this is the Champs-Élysées, the field of the Élysée, which was converted into an avenue. In those days also, it was a very fashionable avenue like our Mount Road, the central commercial street. Now, this is what I wanted you to look at. They are known as Les Colonnes Maurice. This was the advert. They didn't, Paris people didn't like people sticking posters everywhere like we do in Chennai. We've still not been able to get away from this. We've been grumbling about it for years, 75 years after independence, and people still don't have the civic sense to not stick posters on public property. But in Paris, they decided in the 19th century that they hated graffiti or posters. So this person called Maurice, he gave the idea of having these columns that look beautiful and where they were used for sticking posters. It was done in a systematic way. They still exist today. Les colonnes Maurice. This is another thing you'll find all over the city, especially on the Champs-Élysées, kiosque de journaux, where newspapers are sold, postcards are sold. It's a small newspaper kiosque de journaux. So now we come to les Champs-Élysées. Cette avenue est la plus célèbre de Paris et peut-être du monde. Longue de près de 2 km, more than 2 kilometers long. Elle relie la place de la Concorde à celle de l'Étoile où se trouve l'Arc de Triomphe. Elle est bordée de nombreux magasins, restaurants et cinémas. So on one side of the Champs-Élysées, you have the Arc de Triomphe, which is in the center of the Place de l'Étoile. On the other side, you have the Place de la Concorde, la Place de la Concorde. Now, this was where in the 18th century, the revolution, this was where the guillotine was placed. It's a huge area, a huge compound, and people used to gather there in large numbers to watch. That was their, like the Romans and their gladiators. During the revolution, watching people die with their heads being chopped up was the social media event of the times. Okay, Les Champs-Élysées. Now the Champs-Élysées is known for its restaurants, for its cinemas, for its shops. This is the Place de la Concorde. I want you to look at this thing over here. Can you see this thing? It's actually a pillar from the Temple of Luxor in Egypt. There were two. There was one here, which is now sitting in Paris, and you have the second one here. So Paris people wanted to bring it to France, and finally the Pasha, who was in charge, sold it to them for a ticking clock. So they took the clock from Paris and they put it on one of their mosques. It's still there today. Doesn't work, I'm told, but it's still there today. And Paris got an obelix. This is called an obelix. All right. And the second thing you have to know is this thing over here. It's the Ferris wheel. Each major European city has one. This is it, the Ferris wheel. Can you see the obelix behind it? So this is the Eye of Paris. It's called the Eye of Paris. In French, it is called La Rue de Paris, the Eye of Paris. So this is La Place de la Concorde. Can you see the, over here, right to the back, a very small Arc de Triomphe, right? So this is the Place de l'Étoile. It's a straight avenue linking two squares. One is the Place de l'Étoile with the Arc de Triomphe. The other is the Place de la Concorde with La Rue de Paris and also the Obélix. Now, after you come to the end of the avenue, you come into something known as La Place de... This is the Champs-Élysées, this long avenue. And at the end of the Champs-Élysées, you have the Louvre Museum, all right? So this is the old Louvre, and this is how you enter it, through the glass pyramid. Just before the glass pyramid and the Louvre, you have to pass this beautiful garden called the Jardin des Tuileries. D'accord? You can see the Eiffel Tower in the background. So this is the Louvre. The glass pyramid is behind this tree, the biggest museum in the world. This is the view from Le Jardin des Tuileries. Le Louvre. Let's read the passage on le Louvre. Le Louvre est le plus grand musée du monde. Ancien palais des rois de France, le bâtiment renferme des chefs-d'œuvre. La Joconde de Léonard de Vinci, la Vénus de Milo, le scribe accroupi, statue égyptienne. L'entrée dans le musée se fait par une pyramide en verre, construite en 1989 dans une cour du palais. So the court of the palace, the entrance court, has the museum, and you enter the museum through the glass pyramid. And the museum is one of the biggest in the world, and you need 2-3 days to really visit everything properly. I never had the patience. Here you have the Venus de Milo. It's a marble statue of Aphrodite. Her hands had disappeared by the time they found it and brought it to the museum. And this is an ancient Egyptian uh, sculpture of a scribe, le scribe accroupi. Accroupi means the sitting or the squatting scribe. The next thing is le metro. Le metro. Can you see the picture looks exactly like the metro? Huh? The metro entrances are so understated compared to our Chennai metro. Donc, inauguré en 1900, le métro parisien compte aujourd'hui 16 lignes et s'étend sur plus de 2000 km. Ce moyen de transport est devenu l'un des symboles de la ville. It is classic. You see these two lampshades and this thing, you know the metro or the metropolitan is nearby. Metro is the short form of metropolitan. Notre-Dame. Notre-Dame. It's one of the first cathedrals that was built in Paris. Cette grande cathédrale gothique a été construite au Moyen Âge. Elle se trouve sur l'île de la Cité. Les Gaulois ont fondé Lutèce au IIIe siècle avant Jésus-Christ sur cette île de la Seine. All right, it's right on the city, island in the middle of the Seine. And before the Roman conquest and Paris became Paris, it was known as Lutèce, Lutetia, Lutèce. So this is Notre Dame before it got burnt. As soon as you come out of the metro and you come onto the bridge, you see it. It's a beautiful sight. Notre Dame de Paris. This is the back view. That was the front view. You saw the two towers. This is a picture that was taken when it was burning, and now it's been renovated and it looks as beautiful as ever. Montmartre. Montmartre is found on the north of France, of Paris. Ce quartier du nord de Paris est un ancien village des vignerons bâti sur une colline. Ses petites rues, ses places et les basiliques du Sacré-Cœur attirent les touristes. It's a area where you have the Sacré-Cœur Basilica, which is on a hill, which is really high. And the area of Montmartre is very picturesque. You have many painters, writers, poets. In fact, the movie Moulin Rouge was shot in this area. There were lots of nightclubs there. Voilà, une image. Vous pouvez voir le basilique. You can see the basilique here. Il y a beaucoup de petites rues, des petits cafés, des petits magasins. C'est un endroit très pittoresque. This is a view from the top of Sacré-Cœur. And this is Sacré-Cœur from the bottom. It's a beautiful place just to go and sit there and enjoy Paris view and the sun. So à retenir, what should you remember? Paris est la capitale de la France et de la région Île-de-France. Elle est peuplée de 2,13 millions d'habitants. La ville a été fondée au IIIe siècle avant Jésus-Christ par les Gaulois, the Gaulish people, sur une île de la Seine. Elle est divisée aujourd'hui en 20 arrondissements. Ces monuments sont connus dans le monde entier. Parmi les plus célèbres figurent la Tour Eiffel, l'Arc de Triomphe et la cathédrale Notre-Dame. D'accord? Agglomération, it's a town and its suburbs. Arrondissement, it's a district. Exposition universelle, exposition means exhibition. Gothique, c'est un style artistique du Moyen Âge. You have Baroque and you have Gothic. You have Goths even today. And Lutèce, c'est l'ancien nom de Paris. D'accord? This I'm just going to read because it's terribly simple. I don't think there's any word here that you do not know. Paris est la capitale de la France. L'agglomération de Paris compte plus de 10 millions d'habitants. Un fleuve traverse la capitale française, c'est la Seine. Dans Paris, il y a deux îles, l'île de la Cité et l'île Saint-Louis. Lille compte 20 arrondissements, Paris compte 20 arrondissements. Le 16e, le 7e et le 8e arrondissement de Paris sont les quartiers les plus riches. Ils sont situés dans l'ouest de la capitale. Les quartiers populaires comme le 18e et le 20e sont au nord-est de la ville. Les monuments célèbres, les ministères, le palais de l'Élysée sont situés dans le centre de Paris. Paris est la capitale économique, la capitale politique et la capitale culturelle de la France. La ville compte beaucoup de lieux célèbres dans le monde entier comme la Tour Eiffel, l'Arc de Triomphe et Notre-Dame de Paris. Les musées parisiens aussi sont très connus. Il y a par exemple le musée du Louvre. C'est le plus grand musée de France. On peut voir dans le musée du Louvre des tableaux magnifiques. Le plus célèbre est certainement la Joconde de Léonard de Vinci. Paris est une ville très touristique. Chaque année, des millions de touristes du monde entier marchent sur les Champs-Élysées. Ils séjournent à l'hôtel, louent des chambres d'hôtes ou des appartements pour une semaine. Now, vocabulary questions. Quel fleuve traverse Paris? C'est la Seine. Où sont situés les quartiers populaires? Dans le nord-est, in the northeast. Il y a combien d'arrondissements à Paris? Arrondissement here, it's like a ward, okay? Il y a 20 arrondissements à Paris. Question. Comment s'appelle le tableau de Léonard de Vinci? Le tableau s'appelle La Joconde. Nommez 5 monuments de Paris. La Tour Eiffel, l'Arc de Triomphe, Notre-Dame de Paris, le Louvre et le Basilique du Sacré-Cœur. Que savez-vous du métro parisien? On a commencé le métro en 1990. Il a 16 lignes. Il couvre 200 km. C'est un symbole de Paris. Pourquoi les Champs-Élysées sont-elles fameuses? Remember I told you it's the longest, la plus longue, longest street. Elle est bordée. It has beautiful shops, restaurants, cinémas. Bordée de nombreux magasins, restaurants, cinémas. Elle commence avec l'Arc de Triomphe et va jusqu'à la place de la Concorde. C'est quoi le style gothique? C'est un style artistique de la deuxième moitié du Moyen-Âge. Quel est le symbole de Paris? C'est la Tour Eiffel. D'accord? Dites vrai ou faux. Les quartiers riches sont situés dans l'est de Paris? Faux. Le Louvre est un tableau de Léonard de Vinci? Vrai. Chaque année, de millions de touristes viennent à Paris? Vrai. Les touristes séjournent uniquement à l'hôtel? Faux. They also stay in guest houses, bed and breakfasts. Trouvez les synonymes. Beau, joli, grande, immense, bordé, au bord de, sorte, type, nombreux, beaucoup. Trouvez les formes nominales. Here they are. Arrondissement, comptable, fondation, bâtiment, pouvoir. Bâtir is to build. Puissance means power. Fonder is to found. Compter is to count. Arrondir is to become round. So an arrondissement is a round area. Comptable, if you remember, means accountant. D'accord? Bâtiment means building, and this is the verb pouvoir. Remplissez avec le bon mot. I've given them to you here. So Paris est une ville très ancienne ou célèbre. En Inde, les dash sont végétariens. Les habitants, the people. Dans le dash des tirages, compus will be the best idea, but quartier au lieu can also be used. Vijay est un acteur très célèbre. Pour voir un film, il faut aller dans une salle de cinéma. D'accord? Opposites, célèbre, inconnu, unknown. Entier, une partie. Entier means the whole, une partie. Séjourner, to stay. Habiter is to live. I don't know why I said habiter. I think the opposite will be quitter. Quitter. Better word will be déménager, to shift. Let's see. Populaire means common, raffiné, sophisticated. Palais, palace, Utokoban is a small house. So this is what you have to do for me. Rédaction, describe votre lieu préféré, favorite, in a letter. Or, dans vos propres mots, décrivez la ville de Paris. And projet, make me a small poster for Instagram about a French monument, explain it in class. Or present Chennai just like Paris was presented. D'accord? Bon courage pour les examens.